Okay, I'm definitely getting this video out a lot later than I typically would like to. I've just been really busy with mid-offs and school this past week, but I wanted to kind of jump in onto this analysis of this run immediately because as soon as I open this chest, I see the looting three
Oh my
sword.
god.
You can hear my reaction. This is just such an insane seed because you really never really get a seed with a looting three sword and 36 iron. So I'm going to be entering with just pretty much everything in the world, sub one, which is just insane. And as well with rune portal seeds, it's always beneficial. It's your first priority, especially I have a sword, which is going to be a 2-tap to pretty much all animals, and a flint and steel, which allows me to pretty much killing mobs. It's a lot better than having just like 1 or 2 fire charges. You always want to get the animals first because animals are very prone to kind of wandering away from your portal. So you don't want to. So you want to get them immediately as soon as the seed starts because you don't want to have the risk of this pig wandering further into the forest and maybe you get all your wood and all your tools first and then you have to go away from your enter because this page you just got unlucky with the kind of wander RNG. So you don't want to kind of let RNG dictate your overworld. So you want to always get animals as soon as you can. And I know as well, and you can see here, this pig is really close to the water. And I know in the moment as well, I didn't see these cows until after I killed the pig. So in my mind, this is the only source of food I have on the seed. So under no circumstance can I let this pig go into the water. And if I light this pig on fire right here, it's going to go into the water and I'm pretty much going to lose it. And it's going to be really, really frustrating to try and get. So I know as well, like pigs are also more valuable than cows because although they kind of have the same, like pork chops and cooked beef have the same properties, pigs are a lot easier to kill because they are just a lot slower. You're not gonna kind of miss hitting the cow and like try and do Kovacs aim practice because cows are just a lot faster. So I really don't want to mess up killing this pig, especially because as well with the gold sword, gold swords are slower to kill animals because it's a 2-tap instead of a gold axe being like a one hit crit kills pretty much any animals you're going to be getting in the overworld. So I want to make sure as well, just for one to make sure this pig doesn't instantly walk into the water and I lose it. I want to make sure I have enough space away from the water to hit the pig twice. So I do something I don't see runners do this as often as I think they should. I put the fire behind the pig away from the water. So as I kind of punch this pig into it, instead of just kind of like, the pig maybe trying to beeline the water this way, as it goes through here, it goes down. It takes a right here because it wants to get away from the fire. So it allows me for even more wiggle room to kind of make sure I get this pig with more than enough space between the water just to make sure that I don't lose the food. And then I see the cows. I kind of get lucky that this cow will try to go up a block because whenever cows go up blocks, they're a lot slower and they're a lot easier to kill. So after I get the cow, I go over to my room portal after getting 2 logs instead of, instantly crafting my pickaxe. I think this is better just crafting everything here just because I think there's less downtime in between everything. I don't think it really matters, but I think what I do is the right play. I don't really have a good explanation for it. But I go back here, I get 14 logs, and typically on rune portal seeds, you want to get at least 16 or more logs because especially with the golden axes are so good because you can get so many logs and so much, sources of material and like blocks for the whole run really, really quickly. But I opt to get 14 logs and kind of play a lot more aggressively because like I said, a seed like this doesn't really come around often. So I really want to kind of push the limits of the seed. So I get less wood because I also know with getting the gold block from this room portal, I have the ability to where if I need to, I can make 2 golden pickaxes, which is gonna pretty much get me 2 stacks of netherrack in about 10 seconds. So it's kind of a safety net I can fall back on while I'm intending to play the seed really aggressively and really fast and try to push the limits as much as I can. And immediately as well, I see I see the housing bastion, so I know I shouldn't really need to use those 6 wood or the 6 gold that I thought I may need to make some golden pickaxes. And I'm able to enter the bastion and pretty much start my route with only 12 with 12 planks or 24 total planks as well. So I know I'm going to be good completely on blocks. So as well, I know I'm good on blocks. I don't need this 6 gold. I don't need to save this 6 gold for golden pick or for gold pickaxes for blocks. So I instantly do when I'm entering this triple route, I put my gold in my hotbar and I throw one piece of distraction gold instead of trying to loot these chests in a safe hole just to make sure it's more consistent. Is this is another moment where I want to kind of push the limits of the seed as best I can, and I'm confident enough with myself with looting these chests and kind of throwing out more gold for distraction that I can loot them really quickly without taking really any damage. I get hit there once, but it's really very minimal damage. And as well, there's still like 2 or 3 things I can break down from when I just went back here and like going down this staircase. Because after I loot this chest, I have 5 obsidian. And I know with the ranked filter, I don't know if you guys know, but in the ranked mod and with the ranked filter, there's going to be at least one chest and in the bastion is going to have at least 5 obsidian. So I loot this chest, I get my 5 obsidian. For all I know, this is the only chest in the whole bastion with obsidian. So even though I go out of here and I see this is another double triple and it'd be more consistent and a lot safer to loot this other triple, I'm not guaranteed to get obsidian out of those chests. So I don't want to potentially, make this seed a little slower than it possibly could be by looting these chests and not getting any obsidian. And it did so happen to be that there was no obsidian in either of these chests. So I know I already have at least my guaranteed obsidian chest. I just opt to go immediately start my route and break this chest here. And I'm lucky enough that you can see I picked up some obsidian from that chest. So I already know, okay, I don't need to worry about obsidian for the rest of the run. I know 100% certain I'm going to get at least 10 obsidian from all my gold trades. So as I go down to start my route, I hit those 3 pigs because I distracted those pigs with gold initially. I threw 1 gold ingot and 2 enchanted gold boots. And you saw as well, when I broke the chest, these guys weren't mad at me. But with how like kind of the game works in like gold distraction, from the time the pig picks up a piece of gold and like kind of gets distracted by it, it's 6 seconds until like they're done being distracted by it, and then they start chasing you. And so like if you think about the time, maybe I threw out like the last gold boot, and between throwing the last gold boot and breaking the chest is maybe 1 second or so. So I'm thinking, if by the time I run down all of these staircases and 5 seconds go by, I might lose this one pig because he's going to be too far behind, and it's just going to be like, he's going to be too far away to follow me down. So I don't want to risk that possibility happening. So I hit all these 3 pigs just to make sure I have more pigs to start my route, and my bash route is going to be as fast as it possibly can be. And as well, I'm talking about how I'm playing the seed a lot more aggressive than I typically would. I choose to break this block here, this is 100% a lot more of a safer play I make, because breaking this 1 block here prevents any late lava from flowing and killing all my pigs and flowing all the way down. And I do this because this is such a fast seed, and the seed is so good that I'm from the time I enter to right now, it's been about 25 or so seconds. So it has happened to me before where lava flow is really stupid, and by the time 35 seconds elapse, then lava is now flowing into the bastion. So I don't want to take the risk of my whole route and my whole run being ruined by 1 weird late lava flow. So I just choose to break this block just to make sure, while I'm trying to play aggressively and play the seed as fast as I can, I'm able to actually play the seed, and I don't get rolled by some really unlucky lava. But because I do break this I break this 1 blackstone block and it's a double triple, I need to break these 2 blocks here to allow more pigs to fall down. So I throw a piece of distraction gold at my feet. I lose 1 trade, but it's really inconsequential. If you lose 1 or 2 trades early on, it shouldn't really make any difference with your run. But I choose to do that there just because if I don't throw that distraction gold, the pigs that I hit and the pigs that got mad at me from breaking that chest are going to hit me before I can break this 2nd block and let more pigs down. So I just want to make sure I have as many pigs as I can so this route can be as fast as it possibly can be. So as I'm doing this route here as well, in the 2 blocks that I broke to make sure that those pigs get down, I toggle hard because typically people will place a block there, a block under the cracked blackstone block here. They'll typically place a block here, which allows, it kind of gives the pigs a staircase to go down safely. So because pigs on easy mode, they really don't want to fall down and take damage to go to you. So you kind of make a staircase to make it easier for them to go down. But it is a little slower, and I don't want to risk wasting more blocks than I already have. Because as well, after I kind of go in here, I try to get more blocks in my inventory because I don't want to continue using all my wood, but I don't have any more blocks to use, so I can't really do anything about it. So I just kind of pick block my wood back. But as well, I go to hard because I know I didn't place that one block under that cracked blackstone. So I go to hard because pigs are going to be, pigs are more willing to take fall damage when you're on hard mode. So I toggle that just to make sure I have as many pigs as I can right below me. And you can hear, if you can hear really closely, some pigs taking fall damage behind me. But as well, because I'm on hard mode right now, this is a lot riskier. I don't toggle back to easy. I also know I have a lot more pigs below me. So instead of throwing 1 gold block for distraction to overlap trades, I throw 2 because I know I probably have like 15 or so pigs behind me, or sorry, 15 or so pigs below me. So I can pretty much overlap those trades really nicely with getting these last 2 gold block, these backup gold blocks. And just to be safe as well, I throw 2 more gold because if I get hit by a sword guy here, I'm like pretty much dead. I mean, sword guys do about 6 or so hearts when you're on hard mode, and I'm on 8.5, so like sure I could survive a hit, but I really don't want to take that chance of getting hit once and then I get hit out of the hole. But instead of a sword guy hitting me out of the hole, I get hit by a crossbow guy into this little bottom area here away from the hole. And then if there's a sword guy that's right next to me and hits me, I'm pretty much dead. And although, like how I'm saying, like this choice to do kind of stay on hard mode is a lot more of aggressive play, but I throw extra distraction gold to make sure that if something like this happens, there's not a sword guy waiting to hit me while I'm in a really vulnerable situation. So I play aggressively, but I still play pretty consistently just to make sure that I'm still able to play this run out. So it was something in the moment that really scared me because I knew if there was a sword guy right there and I just got unlucky, I would have been dead. And I don't even know what my mental would have been like considering how fast this run is, and I lost it because I did something really aggressive that I know a lot of people don't do. But for here, I do my route really pretty consistently the same way I pretty much do it always. And as well, because I know I have 11 obsidian already that I pretty much only got from the top chest in this bastion. I don't need I don't need this double chest. I don't need this double chest down here for anything else. So I know I can pretty much check my trades, and then I can really just check the direction of the spawner. But as well here, I do want to say, I choose to make a iron axe here. I don't know if this is an ideal play. I'm just comfortable and I'm used to on seeds where I have had looting. I always have an iron axe, and I know if I do 1 crit with an iron axe and I do 2 crits with a gold sword with looting, it's gonna kill the blazes. So I just kind of do that for comfortability. But I think if I just stick with the gold axe, I probably would have been okay, because as well I know if I use my gold axe, I'm only gonna use like 3 or so hits. So I know I don't really need this iron axe, but I just do it for comfortability. And as well here, I check all my trades, and I have pretty much everything I need. I have all my pearls. You can't really see the string here, but I have 56 string. I have 2 anchors worth of glowstone and crying obsidian. I have 20 obby. I'm pretty much good to go, but because I only have 56 string, I do want to double check my string trades again. But while I'm waiting for those last kind of cycle of trades, I go to check my spike direction. And when I go check the direction, I see the fort is in this general area. My intuition, just from this little look here, my intuition is telling me this is more open to my left, so I want to check this left area more. So when I go to my wide macro, instead of looking here, I am looking right here, because that's where I think the fortress is going to be. But if I just turn 45 degrees more to the right and look here, I probably see the fortress. But I go out of my wide macro early, and I just try and trust my intuition, because I think this is more open looking at this area. I think this is more open, but also it kind of pays off as well. I think it's more open. It's actually more closed off. So I don't see the fortress, which is behind me where I'm facing right now. And I check around this corner here, and I don't see the fortress here. And I see this is all pretty much closed off. I am like 99% certain that the fortress is going to be behind me this direction. So I immediately send a pearl. I overlap some kind of crafting I do. And I can see here as well, the fort, before I throw that second pearl, the fort is like at the edge of my render distance. And at this point, my render distance is at about 12. Is at about 12. So I like, and you can see here, it's the fort is about like, it's at the edge of my render distance. It's not exactly at the edge. It's about like probably 10 or so chunks away. And when you have looting seeds, you really don't need to place spawners. It's a lot better and going to be a lot faster if you just kind of lower your render distance and play for some strays. So after I throw this pearl onto this terrain up here and I kind of have a rough gauge on how far this fortress is, I lower my render distance to that like distance to get more blazes to spawn. And I go in F5. I see these two blazes here. There's two wither skellies, which is a little scary, and one magma cube. But I get kind of lucky that this magma cube is a little silly. It just jumps right off the fort, which allows me to really cleanly kill these guys. And as well, after I kill this guy, I stop here. It took me a second before I actually picked up those two rods because the blaze got stuck on this fence right here, and I'm like, as I go here, I don't have these rods. I was like really certain I was gonna pick up the rods, but at this moment, I thought this blaze didn't drop any rods, so I kind of run through here, and I don't realize here that I pick up the rods. If I realized I pick up the rods here, I would have instantly built my portal right here, right now. But I run like an extra 10 or so blocks before realizing it, and then I build my portal. But before I kind of go to this kind of post-blind part of the run, I do want to talk about this terrain choice a little bit, because I think it was a really smart choice of me to stay up on this terrain, because just having vision on a seed, and especially on nether, just like from being higher up, is really beneficial, because it allows you to just have more vision for your pearls going to the stronghold, and allows you to make the best choices you can. And it's really nice as well, because even though ideally you're playing strays, you still want to be at the good part of a fort with a looting sword, because say theoretically you don't get these stray blazes and you kind of get unlucky, you don't have the best spawns. You know if you're in the good part of the fort, you're gonna have a blaze spawner nearby. So it's a nice safety net to fall back onto if you get kind of unlucky. But I do get really lucky here that I get these stray blazes here, and as well, this part of the fort that I'm on, the good part of the fort, it's like the highest part of this whole fortress area. So after I blind, I know I'm gonna have really nice vision of all the terrain in front of me that I really haven't seen yet, which is gonna allow me to have a really nice post blind split. So, and as well, like I was saying, this is a 333 blind. This is just insane pace. Like, I know as well, I have 14 rods. Like, I'm going to be going to coordinates as soon as I go back through the portal. I'm so nervous. I'm so nervous. I'm nervous, man. I'm nervous. And I say it as well because, for one, I think it's kind of funny just to say that. You know, I just like, you know, I try to think of the content sometimes. But also, I know I'm nervous and I'm getting a little shaky. I just say that because I think for me, cracking a joke and trying to make light of the situation a little bit helps me, you know, relax my nerves a little bit, and it tries not to let, you know, me being nervous or like, you know, me shaking in the middle of a run take over too much. So it's not only a thing, you know, I'm just trying to have a little bit of fun. This is me trying to work on my own nerve control and play a little slower. And as well, like I was saying, with being up on this terrain, I'm able to see this. Oh, jeez. I'm so nervous. I'm so nervous. My reaction again. But because I'm staying up here, I'm able to see this soul sand area in front of me pretty nicely. I actually, looking at it now, I actually could have been more aware. You can see the start of the ravine that my pearl lands into more. So I think if I was more perceptive and if I didn't crack a joke, I think I'd probably send my pearl over to the right a little bit more, because I'm able to see that there's a ravine right here, and if I throw it directly this direction, I'm gonna land in a ravine, and it's gonna lose me a bit of time. So that is the thing where I really only see that if I'm high up on the terrain. It's not much of a time loss, so I'm not that worried about it. And I just throw a second pearl, and I'm pretty much on chords. I mess it up a little bit, but I'm really not too worried about it. And as well, when I'm digging down, I'm at Y56. I'm gonna be going down about 15 to 20 blocks further from here, but my C counter is at 100. And I know if my C counter is at 100 this low, like at this low of a Y level, there's most likely going to be like a really large lava lake below me, and I don't want to risk the possibility of losing 10 or 15 seconds by trying to dig to like Y35, because if I try to dig to Y35 and my C counter is this high, I'm gonna fall into the lava, and I'm gonna go down, and I have to go all kind of back up to this kind of like the level of the lava lake, and it's just gonna be a time loss that I really don't want to have. My C counter drops here, so I feel a little more comfortable, but then it goes back up to 60. So I opt to start building my portal here as well. Is a couple blocks higher than I typically would like it to be, but because of how the ranked mod works, at least I think how it works, your first portal is pretty much, it's gonna like try and force itself to surface every single time, or like at least Y60, but it doesn't have that same property for your second portal. So like your first portal, you're a lot less likely to be caved, being at Y45, but your second portal, it's a lot more likely to be caved if you're going at Y45, because ranked doesn't force that. It knows that you're trying to get into the stronghold and actually be in a cave on your second portal. So even though this is higher than I typically would like it to be, and I'm typically comfortable for it to be, I still am like 80 to 90% certain that I'm going to I Spy and be in the Certus staircase. And obviously, if you guys are watching this, you know that is what happens. And I do kind of mess around with my pie chart. I still don't have it ready. I think this is a thing where it's probably like one of the few times in this run where you kind of definitely see my nerves showing a little bit, because this is such a basic thing that I should never really be messing up, but I mess it up here. And as well, it's a little annoying. My spike is bottom left. I pretty much start looking in my 360 top left. So instead of it, I just get lucky and then being right down mid here, I have to do like a full 360. And I get my spike there. I don't know if you guys saw it for just a second. Compared to that spike, I got to my top left, the green was slightly bigger than the pie chart right after it. And I know if my lime green right next to the orange is slightly bigger, that's most likely going to be the portal room, but there's like a mob right in front of it. So I go to my eye zoom macro here just to get that spike, but without the mob, and I get it there that I'm really confident in. And this is another part where I kind of let nerves like take over a little bit, because from where you're standing, you probably should have a good idea that the portal room is going to be through this light here. It's going to be more diagonally left. But in the moment, I thought this was really like straight to my left. So I just kind of go into this wood door here, and I don't see it here. And I got really scared here. I got really, really scared here, because as well, while I was going into the portal to enter the stronghold, the whole time I'm thinking, please don't be a bad stronghold. Please don't be a bad stronghold. Because I've seen so many times where people are on like crazy pace like this, but they just get an unlucky stronghold and it's kind of out of their control. So as soon as I don't instant nav it, and the spike isn't where I thought it was, I immediately go to rescan, just because I'm really nervous. I don't really get the spike. I get the spike for like a frame right before I close my pie chart. But I opt to go to the very, very obvious and very intuitive direction of going to the light, and obviously the portal room is right here. And as well, with how fast this run is, I don't have anything pre-crafted, so I have to craft in the portal. And it's another small thing where I kind of let nerves mess me up a little bit, because after I craft my anchors, I go out and I go to craft a bow, but I don't have enough sticks. And what I should just do is just pick up my 2 planks and make sticks. But instead, I opt to just go out of the crafting table, craft the sticks, and then go back into my inventory, which is just slower. But I'm nervous. I don't want to make any mistakes, and if anything, it's like a 0.5 second time loss. It really doesn't matter. So as I enter as well, this is like obviously insane pace. I'm in the end sub 5, which is just absurd. I want this to be the easiest, freest zero cycle that it can be. And then as soon as I enter, I see 058. Terrifying. My heart drops for a sec, because if this is a back dragon, this run, there's a really good chance I just can't hit the 0, because I'm going to have to go to a lower offset and the dragon is just going to fly away. So I'm like really scared. And as well, like I know I have to hit the pearl clip. I'm like 99% consistent with hitting pearl clips. It's like I know I'm not going to hit it, but it's another thing that I need to do that I have messed up before, that I'm praying and like telling myself don't mess it up. So it's just like, it's another really scary thing that like, it's just, it messes with my mental a little bit and it makes me really nervous. But obviously I hit that pro clip and then I see the dragon here, and that's like the first sigh of relief that, okay, this is a front dragon, and even if I can't get to a top setup, I know I'm going to be able to get to a Y95 side setup, which for front dragon I'm very, very confident with myself in. So I pearl up to the tower. It's a pretty good pearl. I'm 2 blocks under here, and I see it's 94. I know exactly what set I'm gonna do. I've done this setup. I've done this rotation for the dragon hundreds of times. I am very, very confident in myself. And as well, I shoot the dragon on this rotation. I do over half the dragon's health on that first double bed, and that's another kind of sigh of relief where it's like, okay, I have 4 more explosive. By 4 more explosives, there's like almost no way where I mess this up. So I already know I pretty much have this run on lock. But I kind of get a little, complacent. I think, I have it on lock. Obviously, I still kill a dragon, but I mess up this double bed because I hit the dragon and I shoot the dragon. I hit these beds later than I typically would like to. And sure, the dragon has like a sliver of HP left and it's perfectly fine. I have the dragon a lot higher than I typically would like it to be because you want to keep the dragon lower. I mean, well, you don't want to keep it lower, but you want to keep it at a height where it's like it's as low as it could be with still getting more than enough damage, because if the dragon is higher, it's going to take a lot longer for it to fly down. So you don't want it to get too high, because if it's too high and you have to let it circle another rotation, it's like a 3-second time loss. So I know here it's higher than I like, and I might lose 2 or 3 seconds on like rotations, but the anchor is just, I know 1000% certain it's going to do more than enough damage. So, and as well, I know it's going to be sub 6, so I don't really care.
Fucking god.
But I'll let my reaction be
Oh my god. 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 Oh my god.
But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this analysis and like me kind of breaking down all the small things that people don't probably expect top runners to be thinking about. So I hope you guys enjoyed this. Thank you.